is Gregory Hemenway, and this is my honors project for fall 2013, evaluating distance for optimal energy use. The purpose of my project was for me to use information I learned in both Calculus 2 and linear algebra to formulate a distance equation that could then be used to calculate the battery life of this robot. So now we'll look at the code. Here is where most of the work is happening. D and D's sum are vectors that I created. They're zeros right now, but they are the placeholders for all the information my distance equation finds. Line 16 here is the distance formula, where it is finding the distance between every little increment of x so that it could be added up to find the distance of a curve. Line 17 is where is the function. It's adding up all those distances to give you one sum, so that's the partial sum. And 16 and 17 are essentially my arc length interval. It's finding the length of a curve, the distance traveled along the curve. Here in line 27 is my battery function. S is the partial sum, the distance that the robot has traveled so far, and D is the total distance that the robot can travel altogether. So when you divide S by D, you get a percentage of how far the robot has traveled compared to how far it can go. And so when you subtract that by 100, then you get the amount of energy the robot has remaining. N is where I put all my information into a matrix, and so now it's all stored in this matrix and easy to locate. Okay, so if we run this and look at it, you see that we get, let's move this up there. You see that we get a bunch of distances. These are the partial sums of the distance that the robot has traveled, and then you see, compared to the distance, how much battery life the robot has remaining. So when the robot has traveled 0 feet, it's still at 100%. When you come down and see, the total distance is 3,067 feet, and it hits 0. Technically these aren't 0, there's a decimal here, but it would hit 0 right after this at 3,067 feet. And if you look, and here you can see the line of the battery life, so you can see it draining from 100 to 0 as the distance grows.